Welcome back everybody, Matt Anderson, the Referrals Academy. The video topic today is the COI rabbit trap. What on earth am I talking about? Well, essentially I'm talking about something that's based on the Chinese proverb, he who chases two rabbits catches none. And what I'm really talking about is, it was probably about 3 or 4 years ago now, and I ended up coaching over 100 advisors from the same firm. But over a 2-year period, probably coached about that number. And I spent endless hours talking to different people at the company, coaching them on how to get more referrals, but endless hours having essentially the same conversation, which was they were out and about meeting other business professionals and how the vast majority of those professionals weren't referring them. And so again, when you hear this over and over and over and over again, hopefully you do something about it. So that's why I created the rabbit trap, because it just occurred to me that most of these professionals were never going to refer, and that most people that I was coaching, I suppose they were living on hope. They were living that, really just hoping that one of these weeks or months, 1 or 2 of these people would come through. And I suppose the fact that once in a blue moon somebody did, almost was a negative reinforcement to continue to waste, I don't know, at least, I don't know how much time, a day, 2 days, 2.5 days of the week on relationships that were never going to go anywhere. And so a lot of the content that you're going to see coming up on developing centers of influence, profitable centers of influence, talks about how to filter through that, even though it's not a science, but to how to filter through your network to spend more time with the right people. And that's what the rabbit trap is. So in the printable workbook that you have on developing centers of influence, just take a look at the rabbit trap, because it kind of outlines what you need to know. But essentially, why is this an important topic? Well, as I hopefully have explained, it's really to help you focus to the best of your ability, to focus on the right people, to focus on the people who will open bigger and better doors for you. It's very much research based, so the first page of the rabbit trap has room for just 6 names. And I deliberately picked 6 based on the book Business Brilliant, and the research that Lewis shifted in his 2013 book, and he had an entire chapter just on networks. And the book was about the difference between people in business and sales that made $1 million a year or more compared to their middle class counterparts. And what his research found was that the people that were most successful actually had a very tiny core network of people that they spent more time with. And that number was 5.7, so 6 people on the rabbit trap. But also, I'd sort of almost come to that number already before I read the book, because of the people I was coaching, was that I would say, again, almost all of these people that I coached, they would usually have one fantastic referral source, and then usually no other particularly good ones, or significantly less productive referral sources. And so the idea of coming up with 6 is for most people an enormous task. But that said, it does make all of this much more achievable and realistic and relationship based. So you're not out there chasing endless numbers of people, endless rabbits, and ending up catching none at all. So quality versus quantity focus for the rabbit trap, to a point, at least for the first page. So the objective of this, in terms of a to-do item, is complete the rabbit trap, and I would say update it monthly. I don't know if you need to update it much more than that. I think that could get a little obsessive. Again, you will be the judge of that. I wouldn't do it any less than monthly, because I think there should be a dynamic element to it. In other words, that you ought to be meeting new people that have the potential to be great referral sources, and you certainly are going to want to be building the great relationships you have. But because of life changes, and I don't want to start sounding hokey now, because things happen to people, they move, they change jobs, things happen in their personal lives. So in other words, it's not as if your top 6 are going to be your top 6 forever. There's always going to be some shifting going on, even though maybe 3 of them stay there for several years. It's just so something to stay aware of is what I'm trying to say. But I would say for most people, monthly is probably enough to target your top 6. And what are the criteria for them? Well, typically, again, it's going to vary on your business, but by and large, a small number of high quality referrals. It might be more than 3 to 5 depending on your business, but it's certainly, if you're happy to get 1 quality referral from someone in any given year, then 3 to 5 is the right number. If you again, you use your best judgment there. What else? It's the type of relationship that when you get together with this person, you're not just talking about referrals. You might have some ideas that you want to run by them or get their feedback on. You might just be talking about something more you might be talking about relationships or exercise. I mean, you might be getting these are people who I would say are pretty much always at least pretty good friends, and they become other things. So they can become a sort of a mini board of advisor person to you. So they play multiple roles. However, they are also people that can open significant networks to you. So that's why you need to keep on the updating part. And this is my overview. And I would say, and again, this is a very rough number, but these are people that ideally you're seeing reasonably frequently. I think it's pretty hard to have a fantastic referral source if you only see them every other year. I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's unusual. So typically, these are your guidelines for that type of person. And then in terms of the way I've set up the rabbit trap system itself, page 1 are your top 6. And I acknowledge that for the vast majority of people, those 6 people will vary significantly in terms of results. And you may only actually have one person that really totally belongs there, but you've got 5 other names on there because you kind of think they've got the potential. It's not the ideal way to do it, but this is the real world. So that's page 1. Page 2, you've got room for 10 names. Those 10 people are meant to be 10 people that have the potential to be in the top 6. Otherwise, they don't belong there. And then they belong on the 4th page. Page 3 is essentially past referral sources. So people that have sent you business, and it's highly unlikely they're ever going to become fantastic key people in your network, but you absolutely want to keep in touch with them and keep up a decent relationship because they already know, like, and trust you enough that they've referred you. So it's sort of, sometimes there's an intuitive part to that, sometimes it's just based on what you know about their network. But that's what page 3 is. And then the final page is, it's sort of a catch-all really, and that's more of a numbers game, the 4th page. But it's other people that you use your best judgment. Maybe you have quite a good relationship with, but you're pretty uncertain, but you want to keep your eye on that name, you don't want to forget about them. It might be someone you don't even know, but you really want to meet. So let's just say you recently joined an organization of some kind, and you've yet to meet certain key people, so you put them as target lists as for people that have the potential ultimately to be great referral sources, but all in good time. So that's how I outline it. Not complicated, but very much the real goal of it though is to focus your network. So to apply the 80-20 rule, and for most people it's more like the 95-5 rule, quite frankly, and in terms of your favorite clients, favorite professionals, other people you're close to in your network in general, and start to think about them in terms of who would I love for them to introduce me to. How can I put more water in the well? So you notice the second column on that rabbit trap is about adding value to the person, because you want to make sure the water continues to get put in those relationships so that they don't go stale and they don't forget all about you. And really this is what I think I've already kind of outlined. So the how can I most add value is a crucial question to all of these, these people that you've got on your list. How can I most add value? That's the best question you can ask. In addition to, of course, what is your next ask going to be? And when are you going to do it? So, all very helpful, but broken down with your top 6, the 10 that have the potential to be great to the top 6, other people to keep in touch with, and then, I guess, other people in general. So, not complicated to understand. This is absolutely one of those things that essentially it's a tool to use and to think about. And what I really like about it too is you can't fool yourself, because the last column on that rabbit trap says results. So people are only going to be on a certain page because of results. And that hopefully will help you also learn some other things, either about the relationship or maybe about gaps in the relationship. Maybe there's more education you need to do with those people to sort of help them be more effective with opening doors. But there's a lot you can learn from that. But you can't fool yourself with it either, because I think many of us are, we're humans. We like to spend time with people we enjoy. And so one of the things we fall foul of from a business standpoint is getting together with people that we enjoy, who in fact are not opening any doors. and we fool ourselves into justifying it as a good use of time for other reasons perhaps, but the rabbit trap spells it out in black and white. And that's what's really helpful about it as well. So, any questions on it though, let me know. Otherwise, some suggestions in terms of next steps. You want this to be a habit. You want this as a key part of checking on the key people in your network. Something to do this year would be, if you've only got one great referral source, well then make it a goal to have at least 3 by the end of the year. Again, it depends on what time of the year you're watching this, but have realistic time frames. You don't build fantastic relationships overnight, so maybe going from 1 to 3 over 12 months is pretty decent progress, or over 6 months. Again, you can be the judge of what the right timeline is. And in terms of things to do this month, well, I would say, get the people on your calendar who are not currently great referral sources, but that you think have the greatest likelihood of being great referral sources. The daily time of adding value, frankly, so this isn't really a monthly thing, but obviously you're not going to add daily value to the same people over and over again. And then continue to get better in this area so that you can apply the other lessons from the other videos, so you can be more focused on who to spend time with. And then specifically around this week, things to do, well, set up meetings with at least 3 people. You could probably do that in a week. The surprise gift or thank you, some creative ways to put water in the well, and again, to start learning more about this topic. Those would be my biggest suggestions. So in terms of accountability, it's all around, the habits of using this, whether it's weekly or monthly or daily, that's entirely up to you. Setting up the meetings and adding value and learning more about this. And the to-do item is very much use this and use it monthly. So hopefully fairly straightforward. Thanks for your time. Look forward to seeing you on the next video.